So we're having you come out to Richmond, Virginia, May 18th. It's the 35th anniversary of Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express. It's a show that's coming together very nicely, but we're so thrilled to have you coming back down to Richmond.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to it. Anytime you have the Jim Cornette experience, I mean, that in itself is worth buying a ticket. But the fact that you're going to have myself, Bobby Eaton, and Dennis Condrey for a change, along with Jim Cornette, makes it the complete 4-course meal, so to say. And we're all looking forward to it and can't wait to get to Richmond on May the 18th. The two-man power trip and the Midnight Express. You can't beat that combination, guys.
You absolutely can. I would think we're going to save that for a bumper down the road too, because that's a great association to have, both the two-man power trip and the Midnight Express. Every iteration of the Midnight Express. But the really cool thing about this reunion is the fact that Dennis, yourself, and Bobby Eaton will all be together. The three of you in itself is almost a rarity to begin with. But then now, obviously, the Jim Cornette experience being thrown in. He's such a polarizing guy. He's such a great figurehead for the group. But the three of you together, I think, is something that the fans are going to come out in droves for.
Well, it's very rare. I was trying to think about it earlier, and I can't even recall a time that all, Dennis, myself, and Bobby, did one of these kind of shows. Dennis for many years was kind of he sort of like disappeared, and nobody saw him, but now he's back, and I'm looking forward to seeing him and hanging out with him, and I'm sure all the fans are going to have a great time, seeing us and talking to us as well. Even though the Midnight Express were heels, for most of our career, I think we're also sort of in a kind of a strange or twisted way, kind of fan favorites too. So we love meeting the fans, and certainly looking forward to May 18th.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fans of Richmond are some of the best wrestling fans that you're going to find. And obviously, you guys did a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff down there in Richmond, Virginia. Do you have any fond memories of the Richmond stops on the wrestling tours?
Oh, I sure do, but I'm married now, so I better not talk about them. I'm just kidding. All those Virginia towns were great. We love Richmond. We love Norfolk, Virginia, Virginia Beach. Gosh, we used to go to all these clubs there with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, but I can't think of any like one particular instance, but we had so much fun back in the day, Jim Crockett Promotions, and we were like flying around on the Falcon 9-passenger jet. We were flying around on the G18, the big, I think it was about a 30-seater turbo prop, and I mean we were living large, and it was just a great time. I miss it, but time goes on, and you can't be young forever.
This is the third iteration of this show that we've done here. This is our third TMPT Con, and it just has the Midnight Express tag to it. So every year that we've come, we've had people asking us to bring some form or fashion of the Midnight Express to this show. We started out with the Horsemen. We did a little bit more of a Monday Night Wars flavor last year, but this year we're answering the fans' demands and bringing the Midnight Express. And another group that you guys are very familiar with, Ricky and Robert, will also be in the building. So I hope everybody kind of keeps themselves in check that day.
Well, I'll try to control myself. Are those guys still wrestling?
Yeah, they're still out there every so often.
That's amazing. God bless them. They were just inducted into the Hall of Fame, I think, last year. So I'm very proud that they were. They were certainly fun guys, to work with, and I mean we got intense heat, especially on Ricky being the smaller of the two and the blonde hair, and he could sell like he was going to the electric chair. And I mean, we had some stellar matches with the Rock and Roll Express. If I say so myself, I think they'll go down in history as some of maybe perhaps the greatest tag team matches of all time.
Oh, absolutely. If not the greatest tag team rivalry of all time, the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express, and that Hall of Fame induction with the WWE, and the WWE having 95% of the footage of all those matches helps educate newer fans that are just starting to hear about the Midnight Express through that Rock and Roll Express induction. So in a way, even though you guys were at odds all those years on both sides of the ring, they're kind of helping the Midnights get back out there again with all the newer fans checking you guys out.
Right. I get on YouTube every now and then and watch some of the old matches, and not the Midnight Express so much, but my other tag team that I was in with Steve Kern, the Fabulous One. Seeing some of those music videos that we did are kind of blood curdling now. I go, oh my God, did we do that? But back then it was like really cool. Everybody liked it. But yeah, times change.